Hello, dear viewers, and to all you people that are like, I've never heard of you, but that's brought here by the YouTube algorithm, so hi to all you new people, too. Yeah, the variety video that no one saw coming, not even me, with Eternal Darkness done, and I didn't really want to start my next variety game over the Thanksgiving holiday weekend, I thought, I'm going to make a one-off video, and since I just finished doing this myself, I thought, why not a video to give tips for those people looking to do the no-death runs in all of the ball races in Tower Unite. The achievements, the King of whatever, King of Summit, King of Woodlands, etc. achievements. Now, there's a lot of guides out there for the Golden Melons, but there's not so much a lot of like write-ups for tips and tricks for getting no-death achievement stuff, especially like, timing certain sections or like where to aim, what to do. And I thought, that makes it for a good one-off video. Now, I don't claim to be, the best ball race player. I'm not the fastest. I don't have the coolest tricks, the coolest skips. But, for the fact of not dying, I guess I won't go through all the things, but you can see the important ones, like, or ball race. Like, King of Event Horizon, King of, blah, blah, like, King of Midori, King of Prism, I have all of the no-death achievements, so even if I'm not the best, I know what I'm talking about, and, that's good enough. If you're just trying to get these two, you don't need to be the best, you just have to be good enough. Join me, I'm gonna go from start to finish through all of them, every map. Obviously, I'll have more to say on the harder maps than the easier ones, but I will timestamp every map so you can skip to a specific one if you're like, oh, I want help with, memories. You can just skip to that. Otherwise, have some, legally distinct from Monkey Ball action. You can come along and groove with me. And I will say before I start, just in case if you pointed out, you're like, hey, wait, you died. I have the achievements. I don't need to do this without death. So I imagine I will probably end up dying on some of the levels. A, because if there's some of the hard parts that require a little bit of luck, I'm not going to redo it, because it makes it easier to record. But B, because I might want to, like, die to show you what not to do. Like, if you do this, here's what happens. Or if, I want to show you 2 different ways to do something, it's easier to just die and retry than, play the whole thing again. So you don't need to point it out. I know. This isn't for me. This is for you. So yeah, if you want a specific level, go ahead and jump to it. See what I got to say for some of the tricky parts. Otherwise, let's start on easy, shall we? I figure I'll play from I'll do, easy, medium, hard, very hard, and I'll just do things in alphabetical order. All right. Now let's get my face out of here and let's get the ball a-rolling. All right, our foray into easy with GLXY up first. For the most part, on these easy levels, my plan is going to just be to shut up and just turn up the music, mute my mic, because there's not much to say on them. But I do want to give sort of an introduction on stuff. So, GLXY, you're up first, so you're the one that gets it. Because, for the most part, the easy ones, and even the medium ones for that matter, there's not too much to say. But that said, I still want to record a full playthrough of it, because it just would make a weird YouTube video otherwise. Like, it's like, here's this timestamp for, like, a full playthrough of Midori and a full playthrough of Eruption. But then, like, you click on, Woodlands, and it's like, oh, here's level 11, and that's it, or, whatever. Like, I'll know the levels when I see them, what I want to talk about, but, like, here's, level 12 on GLXY, and that's it. Like, it would just be a weird YouTube playthrough. So, I'll do full playthroughs. But the other thing I want to talk about for this introduction is, like, especially, like, right here, I could have landed over here from the get-go. All of these playthroughs, the thing to keep in mind if you're going for no death is you don't need to be fast. You don't need to be fancy. You don't need to take shortcuts. Like, you're here to get from the start to the finish without dying. And that's what you need to focus on. And so to that end, I am specifically not going to be taking the faster ways. For the most part, there are a couple of shortcuts here and there where I feel the shortcut is easier or like eliminates some sort of difficulty or, randomness or whatever. And I'll point those out when I get to them. Like, here's a time you actually want to take the shortcut because it takes, no skill to do, and it's the better way to do it. But for the most part, you just want to go from the start to the end with minimal risks involved. And it's okay. Like, it's okay that you're going to do a boring run that's not going to be your, best time. Like, when you're with your friends is the time to do all the cool stuff where they're like, "Whoa, you skipped half the track. Wow, that's neato." You know, now is not the time for that. So for the most part, yeah, since there's not much to say on the easy ones, I will shut up and stop talking. All right, well, I guess I'll unmute it just for this time. I'm going to skip the bonus levels. I mean, except for this one, explaining why I'm skipping them. And for the rest of the YouTube video, so if you get to one, you're like, oh, but you didn't show the bonus level. You don't need to worry about it, because, like, here, King of Galaxy, completed Galaxy without dying once, excluding bonus stages. So, yeah, you can... Oops, didn't mean to open up that thing. You can just go like, oh, no, I died, whatever. That wouldn't count against you. Like, even if you survive like this, your time runs out, bam, you explode. It counts as a life lost. So all bonus stages, you're fine. So you don't need to see them. Just, you know, so in the future, you don't freak out, right? But I don't know what to do. It doesn't matter what you do. Like, why aren't you shutting up and turning the music back on? Because this is actually... I'm shaking my finger and pointing, like you can see that. This is a good example of what I'm talking about. If you're going for no death, just go through here the way you're supposed to. Fall down the shaft. Yes, it's cooler and faster if you're like, woo, skip that, and you land right in the thing. End the level, like your friends, whoa, how neat. But if you're going for no death, just do the safe way. Fall down here, and you go here. It's boring, but, like, because, you know, you might accidentally clip the wall, or, you know, hit the corner at a weird angle. Will you probably do that? No, it's not hard to do. But that's the sort of thing to keep in mind. Don't do stuff like, you know, don't take unnecessary risks. Because you don't need to. All right, now I'll shut up again and let you have the music. Here's actually something I need to talk about. So this part, you can kind of die in here, of course. What you want to do is, like, get past here, and then you just want to go around the side just to build up a little speed, because if you are in there and you just kind of go straight ahead, you're like, all right, you know, the pit has passed, I'll go now. That barrel spins faster than you think it does. In fact, here we go. Because again, like, I've already got the achievement. I don't need to survive this. If you're past this, you're like, okay, all right, it's gone, let's go. That's what happens. It is faster than you think. So when you're trying to not die, get past it and then go, like, sort of around to build up. So I didn't even do it far enough that way. See, that's what happens. Let's just reset. The time's about to run out. Oh no, I failed. But you're not gonna fail because you're gonna take my advice and do this. Like what I did the first time, and I'm gonna do now. You go past, and then you go up to the side, and then start going, and then that way you have enough speed to get past it before it rotates, you know, to the second opening. Because there's two of them, you can see them right there, on opposite sides. So that's the thing to keep in mind, you know, and that's the sort of thing that this video will be about, is like telling you the timing, or like, here's what you have to do, otherwise you're gonna die, and you don't want to do that. You'll be sad. Because then, you know, the rest of the level, it's fine. It's just that one little spot where you're like, oh, gosh darn it. I mean, you probably say something else, but I'm trying to keep this one family friendly, so. Again, just slow down for this part. Yes, you can go screaming through on fire going 1,000 miles an hour, but just be safe and don't. All right, the final one also, there's a little bit of timing involved. Now, it's not, too bad. It's just, these guys going back and forth. I mean, you can, exactly see where they are. Because if you get thrown off, like looking, you're like, wait, where exactly? They're on the ground, Like you can see them going up the side. They go in front and behind the holes. What you want to do, just go fast-ish. Like, yeah, it's not super crazy or anything like that, but don't try and, like, wait in between them because it's not going to go well. Like, can you? Yes. But, just start going. You can loop around like I did if you're not going fast enough to stay on one side. But just do it all in one swift motion, and that'll get you through that. And just like that, you are now King of Galaxy, or Queen, whatever floats your boat. Next up, we have Heavenscape. So my little introduction to Heavenscape is, this is a very, very good one for doing, if you just want to do one, because there's an overall, let me find it in the book. If you just want the one overall don't die achievement, here we go, here at the top. Unpoppable, complete a map without popping the ball. So that's sort of just like, that's like the king of whatever achievements, but for any map. If all you care about is that, Heavenscape is a very good one to do. There is nothing to say about Heavenscape. Like, when I'm done with this introduction, I'm just gonna shut up and you'll not hear me for the rest of the map. Heavenscape has no tricks, no timing, no goofy, what's the word I'm looking, like no goofy tech. It just works. It's just very simple and straightforward. The other option when we get to it is Summit. Summit and Heavenscape are for sure the easiest of the maps. And Heavenscape is, in fact, the first one I did before I'd even planned to do the no-death runs on all the maps. And I was like, you know what, I'll get... Because at this time, I only saw Unpoppable, and I was like, yeah, sure, I'll get that on this one. And, yeah, like, I first tried it. Like, the first time I played Heavenscape, I was able to do it without dying, because it's just that easy, really. Like here, it's like, oh, you have to run and jump. It just works. There's nothing to it. You just go. So, yeah. That's all I have to say. Heavenscape, great one to be, easy with. And there you go. King and Queen of Heavenscape. Up next, Paradise. Welcome to Paradise. Not quite as easy as Heavenscape, but, you know, we're still in the easy category. Now, the reason I'm not just going off ahead is I want to make a point where, you know, I've said, you know, don't do shortcuts except for a few where it's easier than the actual level and stuff like that. If you feel the need to show off and flourish and go fast, obviously do it like now on level 1 rather than level 13. It's like in this level, if you're like, oh, I really want to do the shortcut and skip stuff. Yeah, go ahead and you can do it, and you can do the whole and like jump over here. Good for you. You got it. You got all your melons. You finished the thing. But, you know, let's say you hit the corner of this and go, and fall off this way. Of course, right now on level 1, it's easy to just pick, disconnect, retry. But if you were at level 13, you know, that'd be 12 levels previously that you just threw away doing that. So, you know, if you have to, you know, like you got that itch, you gotta skip something, earlier is better because it's easier to reset if something goes wrong. Now let's let this reset so I can show you how to do it, you know, the proper quote-unquote way if you don't want to try and do that, that shortcut risk. You just go forward, and, I mean, I guess technically we're doing a tiny shortcut because we're skipping one moving platform and going to the second one. But, like, that's easy. You know, that's a freebie. Let me go and hit the button, and then we keep going. Now, of course, if you're playing with friends, or, you know, I guess if you want to play on random lobbies with people, go ahead. But I would not try to do a no-death run with randos. They can press the button for you. You know, you could come over to this platform right here, let them hit it so that the light green platforms move into place. But presumably you're doing this solo and you have to press the button all by yourself. So that's how you do it. And again, like, we had plenty of time left. So, like, yes, we could do the shortcut on level 1, and if we mess up, restart. We had, what, like 30 seconds-ish? Something? I wasn't paying that much attention, but, you know, it's not like we were like, oh no, only 2 seconds left. If only we had some way to shave off some time. Like, you have plenty of time. There's no reason to do it. Now, here's, I guess, the first balance beam, so let's talk about these, because they're going to come up a lot in the future. Aim where you want to go, and just hold forward. And you're like, that seems easy. Yeah. The thing that I think a lot of beginners who have not done like monkey ball and stuff is they try to think of it as like a person balancing, and it makes it much harder. Like if you go very slowly, like, nervous, oh, but I gotta correct this way, oh, I gotta correct this way, and then you start, you know, overcorrecting and you flail and you fall. It's so much easier. Just point where you want to go, and then you go. You point where you want to go, and then you go. So, you know, for those who are not used to the monkey ball thing, don't think of it as like a balancing left-right. It's just a hallway you go down, and it just looks a little skinnier. That's the only difference. These bumpers, make sure you give them a wide berth, because, I mean, yeah, you hit a bumper right here, it's fine. But if you ever clip a bumper on the side, you're like, melon, you die. You're not gonna, you can't recover from it. So, you know, just make sure you give the bumpers a wide berth, and then if you want the golden melon, you can loop back into it. You know, like, and right here, for instance, like, yes, you could go up this way, get closer, and go up the ramp. It's easier to just hold forward and skip the gap. Like that, it's like, but you're jumping over the gap. I thought you were being safe. That is the safer option. Like, it's safer to do that than try to get too close to a bumper. Actually, coming up here, level 4, this is one of the few times where I've said, you know, like, oh, don't do the shortcuts except for a few where it's easier. This is one of the ones where it's easier. You start here at the beginning, you hold forward, and you just keep holding forward, and you land. And you got this big landing strip right here. You don't, you know, it's not like it's a tiny little square you have to get on. You don't have to get a super good angle. So yeah, if you want to go up and down and up and down and up, you can. But this is a case where I'd say doing the shortcut actually is easier than doing the level. You know, that's what we want. We want to do this the easy way, not necessarily the fast way, but in this case, the fast way is easier. So there you go. There you have it. Again, if you had some friends, you could get off right here, let them keep going and do the button for you, but alas, we are solo and the little sleeping dragon on my head can't hit it for us, so we have to do the full loop. This level actually got some stuff to talk about. In fact, Paradise is a good example of the game teaching you that you just have to trust that the level knows what it's doing. Like, you get the balance beams for the first time if you're doing it, you know, the way I've been doing it. And you just have to hold forward and trust in the level. These walls are a good example. You saw me do them in a couple levels, but it's another case of you hit them going full speed, and you just let them do what they want to do, and it will work. As an example, if I can, so used to not doing it this way, but this one, for instance, if you are, you know, if you go this at full speed, well, here you go, meow, it works. It loops you around, you hit that, and you're fine. If you hesitate and pull back and you're like, oh, it's kind of scared, but like, you'll probably lose speed, drop off the cliff right there, and then you die. So that's a lesson that you can take forward from Paradise to the other ones is don't fight the level. You know, the level is designed for you to be able to beat it. You know, don't let it, you know, don't try to be against it. Let it help you win. Actually, here's a very good example of that too. These broken half pipes. Now again, you're not going like screamingly fast, but we're just doing this in one smooth motion, because if you try and stop and reposition all the time, you're gonna get yourself into more trouble than if you just go forward. Like, okay, yeah, we missed a little corner, but we had the speed and the angle that we were able to correct it. The level is designed for you to get from start to finish. Don't get in its way. No, be a brave boy, a gutsy girl. Just go forward, hold your W button. I mean, you know, adjust as necessary and all that stuff too, but yeah, that's I think the main takeaway out of Paradise is, you know, the level is trying to help. Let it. Here's one actually that's, I guess, kind of a skip. Don't try to get into that little macaroni bend there. I don't know if that's considered the way you're supposed to go, quote unquote. Like, it only has one melon. It's so much easier to aim for those green platforms than it is to try and get the perfect, like, bloop into that pipe. Maybe the pipe's the faster way. I don't know which way is the skip and which way is the normal way, but I can tell you it's way easier to just land on the platform. So just do that. I guess I should have told you that ahead of time if you're following along, but, you know, what you gonna do? I guess the only thing I have to say for that, I mean, it's pretty, you know, it's not that hard. Look to see where it, because it moves back and forth, left and right. Just make sure you see which way it's going, so, you know, if it's on the left, you don't go flinging yourself to the right. But there you go. You are now King and Queen of Paradise. Hello, welcome to Summit. This one is pretty much going to be just the music, because, you know, just like I said, with Heavenscape, this is the other easy one to get a no death run on. Heavenscape and Summit are the two easiest maps by far. So there's not really much for me to talk about. And, you know, who wants to hear me just, you know, vamp for 12 levels? Maybe you do. Thank you if you do. I appreciate your kind sentiments, but it's just straightforward. There's no gimmicks. You don't have to worry about, like, oh, there's crazy, like, bumper tech, and you gotta do a jump over here and land to the right position. Nah. You go down the path, you follow the path, you get to the end, and then you win. Like, I guess the only thing I have to say is what I've already told you 1,000 times by this point. Like, in level 8, don't try to do the shortcut to get to the golden melon, like, through the wall. Just follow the path. There you go. That's all I have to say about Summit. And as soon as I'm not controlling this, I will mute myself and turn the music back up. Like I said, don't go that way. Yes, it's a shortcut to the gold melon, but, you know, it's not worth then fighting with all the platforms on these little guys. Here's your summit advice. I'm glad you subscribed to my newsletter. Done. I'd say just like that, you are now king and queen of Summit, but I never had any doubts that you were gonna get that, because Summit's very easy. We only have one easy level left, though, and that would be, somewhere around here, Woodlands! Welcome to Woodland, the last of the easy levels. Now, unlike, say, Summit and Heavenscape, we actually have a lot to talk about here because, you know, unlike those ones, which were it's like, oh, there's no gimmicks or tricks or anything, Woodland's basically nothing but gimmicks and tricks. Now, not all of them are bad, you know, like here, it's like, oh, that's so skinny, how are we gonna do that? You know, it's just like the balance beams in Paradise. Aim, go forward, and it works. But there are definitely some things in here that aren't as consistent, or they're a little janky. Now here, again, its bark is worse than its bite. It looks scary, but hug the wall, let the first rock go, and then you just go straight. Like, yeah, we ran into that rock, and that's fine. Sometimes, very rarely, the physics will glitch out, and if a rock, you know, lands on you, it'll fling you into the void. Again, here, it's like, oh, there's rocks falling in shadow. They don't touch you, it's fine, don't worry about it. But yeah, if for some reason a rock lands on you and it flings you off to the void, just restart. You're only on level 2. It's very rare that it happens. Here, now obviously if you're good with straightaways, you can just go straight across, up, down, and then you're done. Now if you're like, oh, that's too risky, too scary for me, you come over here and you're like, oh, Plinko, this doesn't seem good either. It looks scarier than it is. You go down, use that big gap, use the big gap, and now you don't touch any of them. Here, just let the second one boost you up. Boop. You get plenty high. Maybe get some of the melons up there, and then you just finish the level. Unfortunately, well, I was going to say coming up. Nah, level 4 is fine, too. Level 5 is where things get a little wonky. Level 4 is just a nice stroll down the river. So the only thing you have to worry about here is if you've never played Woodland before, and you're not paying attention, you might think, oh, there's some mud over there. It's not mud, it's radioactive waste, and it kills you if you touch it. But, you know, easily avoided. It's not a problem. Level 5, on the other hand, probably, well, I was gonna say the jankiest thing in the game. The jankiest thing for getting no death, at least. There's a golden melon thing that's a little more inconsistent. The problem here is that the second fans don't always give you a lift. Like, there. I held forward, I went over the fan. Theoretically, I should have gotten it, right? Now, that time, because I started at the top of the thing and went more forward. Oh. Don't touch the left one, there's goop, it kills you. Anyways, the fans. Oh, and here, again, aim. Just, you know, go where you're going. Don't try and balance. Just get to the end. Because, you know, it's when you're balancing and you're going, oh, too far left, too far right, too far left. You know, that's when you're going to fall and die. Let's talk about the fans some more. If you want them to be the most consistent, from up here, hold forward. And it should work. Now, the problem is, it doesn't always. And it's not consistent about it. Like, I can't show you for sure. Because, like, right there, it worked both times. But sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it acts like when I was down here, even though I started from the top. And you can go slower. And, like, look at that. We went slowly, got the second boost, and we did make it. You know, barely, but we still made it. The second fan just does not always give you a boost when it should. And it's not your fault. If it happens, you know, it's frustrating, yes. You're gonna have to replay the first 4 levels, but it's not because of anything you did. If you're up here and you're holding forward, you know, and you get, I'm trying to not, if you get that, obviously I slowed down to guarantee it would happen, but if you get that from up here, it's not your fault. You're still doing it right. It's just the game. Like there, that time, I held forward the entire time. I didn't slow down, and it just didn't work. It happens. As I said, the nice thing to know about it, at least, is once you get past it, it is the most inconsistent thing in the entire ball race, in terms of not dying. As I said, in terms of a golden melon, there's one that's worse, but we're not doing that, so you don't have to worry about it. You're coming out of this one, and you're like, oh no, not another fan. Don't worry about it. This, you know, the first fans always work. So this one, you can just hold forward, and when you hit here, I'd suggest not touching the controller. You know, just let it do its thing. Because, you know, here, it stopped us in the pipe. We can just, you know, manually come out ourselves and finish. The problem is if you're holding forward to go through it faster, very rarely it can kind of knock you around sideways and fling you. So don't fight it. Just let it do its thing. You know, here it's like, let's go to the left side, get the golden melon. No, let's skip the golden melon and, you know, be safe. Go through the center where there's no problem, and now the level's done. Okay, we have to fall down here, but now the level's done. And again, speaking of not fighting the level, 9's an even more important version of that. So the thing about this level is just don't, once you touch this, let go of your controls. Well, I mean, keep your hand on it in case things go really sideways, but you know, like right there, I went a little bit left. But yeah, don't hold forward. Just like let the level take you, let it deposit you. You know, again, I held right a little bit as I came off of that just to make sure I didn't go too far. The main thing I'm trying to get you not to do is this. You're like, okay, we're at level 9. Let's go fast. Let's go. We're almost done. Let's do it. Let's hold forward. Yeah! And then you hit this and you go flying. Don't let that happen to you. You can basically just touch this and then take your hand off the control. The reason why I'd say not to, though, is if you get this one a little too fast, you'll go over this edge. So it might be, you know, you might want to keep your hand on the control. Just, you know, so you can adjust your course a little if need be. But definitely don't hold forward, because you will go too fast and too far. Level 10, yeah, if you touch that hammer, you die. And, you know, I'll give you an example. If you just, like, let it graze you. There you go, hammer, blamp. It's not that actually hard to get through, though. Go to the edge of the bridge. And, you know, I can put an arrow on it when we do the YouTube video, but see that short pillar next to it? When the hammer is passing it, you want to hold forward and keep going until you're well into that curve, or a decent bit. So right now. Now, it looks like it's going to hit you. It doesn't. And now we're past the hammer. And the reason why I say you have, hold it until you're into that curve is because it can clip you on the backside. So if you're like, all right, let's go, it misses on the front and you're like, all right, we're safe. Bam. No, you're not. But if, you do what I said the first time and what I did, you wait at the edge of the bridge, you let it pass the thing, and as it is passing, start holding forward. It'll miss you on the first swing, and you're past it by the second swing. Then it's just a matter of, give the bumper a wide berth, don't hit the toxic waste, and you're fine. Oh, apparently that was a new best for me, huh? And finally, we're on the very last level of Woodlands. Boop. Just, you can hold forward there, you won't fall in a pit. This part, yeah, it's kind of dizzying, but the only thing you need to, watch out for is right at the end. There is a hole right there. As long as you don't fall into that, you're golden. You are king and queen of Woodlands, and you have finished all the easy levels. Welcome to Event Horizon, medium difficulty, and I love that groove. All right, now that we're on medium, we got more to talk about than just on easy. First thing to talk about, these bouncy stars. It's just like I've been saying, trust in them. That's the main takeaways. They tell you where they want, to take you, and they will take you there. They will aim it for you. You just have to provide the speed. So, you hit this and you turn around because that's where it says it wants to go, and you follow it, and it works. Now, the problem is when you're just like, oh, bouncing, I'm not sure, I have to get up, okay, now, let's go! And then it doesn't work, right? If you go at it with confidence, it'll be fine. Yeah, you don't have to take it that fast going down the thing, but since I want to get back there. You hit this star, it says it wants to go behind you, and it will take you behind you. This one, it wants to go behind you, you hit it, it will take it behind you. And look at that. With enough confidence, even purposefully dying, I still had time to finish. Again, like if you want, the stars are very nice for bouncing. You can just go across the middle if you want, but we'll play it safe. We'll go around the side just to be, these things you don't have to worry about, like, oh, I'm gonna fall off and die. No, it's fine. They're boosts. And, there's a thing up there if you're going too fast that'll stop you. What you do want to take note of is coming up right up here. What I guess you could call it orbiting, because it's going to be orbiting a star. Whatever you call it, circles, or, going in a circle, orbiting. You have to get very comfortable doing this. Going in a circle, following the arc of the circle, manually moving it, because you're going to have to do this a lot later in the game. Especially Midori has this a bunch. So, if you're not comfortable, keep going around, pick up these melons, pick up the golden melon there. And you keep doing this until you are comfortable with the concept of orbiting. So that, you keep your momentum going, pressing the buttons, but you're not just going straight, you're going in a circle. And once you're comfortable with that, and you're like, okay, I'm good with that, then keep going, because, yeah, you got to get used to that. Again, speed boost, turn around, hold it forward, because that's where it wants you to go, and look at that, it just works. You didn't even know where I was going. Yeah, don't hit that bumper, give it a wide berth. Bumpers are not our friends. Bouncy stars are, bumpers are not. So one thing to note on this level, here on 5, I'll wait for it. Normally when you see a spinning platform, you get on it and you're like, okay, follow the edge of it, like as it curves. This one is not that. It will kill you. If you try and like go to the edge, it's just gonna take off without you. What you want to do, well, is wait for it to come back, because we're being safe. hit it going straight on and just keep moving straight. Because as it twists, it just works. It won't twist you around with it. So you just hit the center, go forward, keep going forward. And here again, follow the star. This time it wants you to go left. It will take you there, so just turn your camera, and it works. Yeah, that platform, because, you know, most platforms, you see them spinning around, and you want to, like, follow the way it's spinning. This is not that. Just go straight forward. This part can be a little weird. Avoid the platform moving around down there. The physics can get a little weird and kill you if you get stuck underneath it. The best way to do this, the easiest way, I should say, just go straight up and land on one of the sides. Because if you go from the edge and you're like, and forward, that happens. You can bonk your head, and then, you know, maybe you'll make it back. You know, that time I didn't. Now, yeah, you'll shave off a little time if you do that, but again, we're going for safety, not time. So land, go straight up, land on the side. You know, you don't need to worry about trying to hit right here if you're going forward. All right, now that we're done with our bonus, again, position, just go forward, you'll be fine. Position, go forward, you're fine. You know, and coming up here, you just hold forward, and like, yeah, this part, there's little gaps, but hey, you'll bounce them, you're fine. There's a little gap there, you'll bounce it, you're fine. And again, here's the thing, like, you gotta get used to orbiting, because now, sure, it's not doing a full circle, but you're gonna have to get used to doing this stuff like this, so let's get on it. Let's ride it this way. We can't, you know, go that way without it, so might as well. And back again. Red star will kill you if you hit it, just, you know, in case that wasn't obvious. Don't run into it. This part, yes, if you go super fast, you can try and catch the platform on the way over. But if you don't make it, it's fine. Just wait for it. Just like other walls, hit it, let it take you. Don't be scared or you might fall off. Now, here we go. The part that caused me the most problem for Event Horizon. Go forward, you know, I'm gonna... There, I showed you how you get past. I should probably stop, though. These are... I mean, you'll see things like it later on. Sort of, there's attractors and repulsors, and they just throw me off. What you want to do is you're coming down here, and you want to go full speed right at the right edge of that single tile platform. Because with two on the left and one on the right, it's going to pull you to the left, and this way, you know, you'll be centered and be where you need to be. If you're too far to the left, it'll pull you off. If you're too far to the right, you know, you're not going to make it. So, like, you know, you're over here, you're like, ah, that's where I need to go. It's just going to toss you into the abyss. So, yeah, getting used to those, that's another thing you're going to have to do, because you're going to find them a lot more later. Just right down the middle, and it will be fine. And let's actually do the rest of the level, and not just talk about the attractor things, little black holes. Because here, you know, they show up twice. Here and in one more level. But in other levels, they're all, especially like memories, they're all over the place. So we're gonna go through, let it, correct our course, and say goodbye. We don't care about them anymore. Back to where we were, this time not, falling off the edge. Just go straight down that hole, and you're done. All right, so here's the other part with the attractors. Now, if you don't do this fast enough, it's not gonna work. So for example, you're like, okay, let's go. You're heading to the center and you're like, oh boy, I made it past almost, but not quite. Okay, well, I did make it past, but like, let's say you're a little bit further down. This thing's gonna pull you down and you're gonna die. So yeah, you wanna just go full steam ahead. You're gonna right up the center, even a little bit left if you want, since the final one is on the right. And so long as you break free of that last black hole, you're fine. You'll be good. Even if you have to, sort of climb up like I did right there. And if you do it great, you'll just, clear the whole thing and it won't be an issue. Then do a little bit of platform stuff and away you go. Finally, we've crossed the event horizon. We're, inside the black hole. So it kind of looks like you're in, like, a supernova or whatever. Yes, it starts out all blurry like this, and you're like, oh, how am I going to do this? It'll clear up, don't worry. Just go forward until you get down. Once you're down at this straightaway, just slow down a bit, and you'll see things come into focus. There's a bumper in the middle. But if you just, ignore them, you're fine. And again, if you want to go fast, you can just sort of hit that left side and just go screeching across the, the pit there. But, just to show you the safe way. There you go. You're now the king and queen of Event Horizon. Up next is... Khromidro. Khromidro. I'm going to be honest, I don't actually remember a lot about this one. In terms of, no death run stuff. These are moving, just FYI. You can sort of see it if you're up close looking at it like that. But, from back here, they just sort of look like platforms. So just don't be surprised when you hit them and your inertia gets all wonky. It's not hard. It's just, it can be a little surprising, that's all. Yeah, this and Oasis, I just don't really remember. Here, go forward. It's a nice big loop. It'll take you where you need to go if you just believe in the level. Let's be safe and go around. Ah, this is when they first did upside down. So yeah, you go forward and it'll just suck you up there and it does what it needs to do. You don't have to worry about it. I gotta hold forward. You go where you need to go. You don't worry about it. I kind of wish you could go down that like big spiral. Like there was a hollowed out like tube that you slid. Like that'd be fun. Not that this isn't fun. It's just, as I said, I forgot most of it. I don't know, Khromidro almost just seems like the indie game reference. Like, the whole feel gives me, like, Rain on Your Parade vibes. Like, seeing all these windmills is giving me Flower vibes. I don't know. Is it supposed to be? Probably not, but that's what I'm getting out of it. Rain on Your Parade and Flower combined into one game. Now, the wind here is pushing you, but don't be scared, because unlike wind in some games, it's not that hard. Like, if you just push where, I want to go forward, and you maybe tap left a couple times, it's not very strong wind. You don't need to be scared of it. Now, this part, the tornado, it is very strong wind, but you just go here, you're going left, so you go, let's go left. And you start rising up. Went too far, because I was aiming for the melon. The last time I was in here was when I was getting all, like, the 500 melons. So, okay, let's go right instead. But as you can see, like, it's not that scary. Like, yes, it picks you up, but once you go over the edge, you're back down. And you just adjust. Both left and right, they're the same. He's got these, bumpers. Just go through them. Don't be afraid. And you'll be fine. this is the one part of Khromidro that I dislike for not dying achievement purposes. You go over here, again, both left and right are the same. You're going to go over this drawbridge and hit the speed thing, and then what you're doing is you're going to the left. And there's no good way to land this. You just kind of have to aim and hope. I mean, obviously, you aim right. Like, that's what you have to do. That's the part you control. But there's no, like, there's no good place to, like, aim it or land it. You hope that you go where you need to be. And if you don't, you restart and try again. And the one thing to keep in mind here is when it spits you out, you have to turn your camera because it's going to spit you out facing like this. Otherwise, that's really the only thing of noteworthiness. All right, so timing for this, because clearly you don't want to be hit by that. It's not as bad as you think. Back up a little bit so you get some speed. As soon as it goes by, just chase it forward, and you will clear it. You know, it's... Oh, I forgot about that. Now, there's the thing you can also learn. Even if you forget, just hold against it. You know, I was holding back. Obviously, if you cleared the gap, hold forward, and you'll survive it. Yeah, you can go ahead, you know, skip there, but... We're at level 9, I don't want to risk stuff. I completely forgot about that part where it drops out the floor from you. Shows you how much about Khromidro I remember. I don't know, it's just not... Yeah, it's like the summit of medium difficulty. It's just there. You're just like, okay, that was a level I played. Beyond that, you know, that jump in 6 where you have to just sort of hope for the middle, it's pretty straightforward. It's a... Yeah, I definitely like Event Horizon and Nimbus way more. Oh boy, new best. I'm rank 42,000. Woo. Again, take it slow. Just avoid the bumpers. Again, if you hit the ones like that have a partner on the side, you'll probably be okay. They'll just hit you in another one. Now, before I start going, you're probably, this looks weird. These platforms are going to disappear. So we're going to aim forward and just go. And it works. Then right here, it'll pull you up. You know, just adjust your camera because you're going to be traveling upside down. You don't want to, you know, fly off the edge. But otherwise, there's nothing, you know, it still behaves the same, and you can adjust back when you're towards the end. All right, so level 12, there are a couple things to talk about, though. First of all, you do want to hold forward going off this. It's not as scary as a jump as you think. You've got an updraft helping you right there. This part, it's a lot more difficult than you might think, because if you hold just straight forward, it's going to toss you over the edge like in Woodlands. But if you don't hit anything, you're going to drop and fall and die. So what you want to do, kind of let go, and then right here, start holding forward, like right in that middle of the turn. And that will give you enough speed to make the turn, but, you know, not overshoot stuff. Finally, don't worry about all of that. When you're here, you're safe. The level's done. You know, I'll show you some of that beginning stuff again, too. Since we already, you know, we beat the level. It's there. So again, you're going, and you're like, oh, that's so scary and stuff. Hit this, don't touch anything until halfway through the curve, then hold forward. Okay, I got lucky. I was a little late on my stuff, but I hit the end and bounced, so, you know, that works too. I'd rather be lucky than skilled, but that's probably, you know, that and the jump on 6 are the two hard parts of Khromidro. It's unfortunate the ones on 12, but, you know, they're not too bad to deal with. At least the more luck-based one that I feel like on 6, at least it's early, so. Nimbus is probably the easiest of all the medium difficulty levels. We're going to use later on another, just like in Paradise, we're going to use a skip at one point to make things easier. But yeah, Nimbus is not that bad. You know, if you got all your easy clears and you're like, okay, let's do medium. Event Horizon or Nimbus are probably the best ones to do. Nimbus, though, especially. That part, you know, just hold forward and you should make it. And you don't even have to worry about that. I would actually suggest doing the Golden Melon. So these are teleporters. Get close, you can see it. Now, yeah, you can go across here and like, get kind of close to the bumper. But if you go this way, you teleport over there. There's the Golden Melon, and then you teleport. And now you're past that. And that way you don't have to get too close to the bumpers. So that's a detour for the Golden Melon that I think is easier than the main path. That's not even the shortcut I was talking about. That, you know, just the Golden Melon path. This part, you know, it works out pretty well, but you can, you know, wait and, you know, aim it to be sure if you want. Here, you go over, just, you know, kind of circle with them, and then you just cross and you're done. Obviously, don't fight against them, because then you're going to run into more bumper issue. And, like, yeah, you can sneak by them, but why make things harder for yourself? Who wants to do that? Yeah, I'm just going forward. Like, yeah, you can hit fall down, but, like, that's not, you know, an issue. Let the hammers go, then you go fast. It honestly kind of feels like an easy level. Like, this sort of feels like the same difficulty of Woodlands. Yeah, and just like Woodlands, it looks scarier than it is. Like, oh, this tilting platform. Like, they don't tilt you all. Like, you can stand on the thing. Like, it doesn't, you know, you're not careening off over the edge. You know, so long as there, you know, get the end there, you'll be fine. And the guy's like, oh, 2 bumper. You just go in the middle. See, you're big enough. You can fit right there. In fact, if you go super slow, it'll just take you past you right there. Now, avoid that one. A little bit of a troll there saying, ha, bumper. All right, so for this part, what I'd suggest, if you want to be safe, like, yeah, you can do, like, some stuff with the middle and go through things. Just get on the very edge and just go around the bumper. Like, yeah, you know, if you find it easier to go through the middle, go for it. But I find, you know, not even messing with the bumpers and the moving platforms and just avoiding it all. I find that to be easier. Do whatever makes you comfortable, but... now here's where we're going to use a skip to make things easier for ourselves. Right here we go forward, you know, as you do. There's a lot of moving platforms, and there's a lot of bumpers. So what we're going to do here, hit this, and just go to the right. And you can land right there. And it's really, really easy. Now, like, is that the hardest thing? You're looking at it right now. Like, it's not the hardest thing, but it's so easy to just skip all of that. Just do it. Okay, obviously on this one, don't do the shortcut, because like you can put yourself on the melon and get thwacked by the hammer over into the goal. Don't try to do that when you're doing the no death run. I know, it's not as fun. This part, just wait. The skinny part is where the hammer goes, so you can just go ahead, you know, pause, wait, get your bearings, let the hammer go. And right here, just go straight and you're fine. I know, you really wanted to get hit by the hammer at the start, right into the goal. It's very fun when it works, but if you're wondering why I'm starting this level with only 2 lives and half time, I realize I should probably mention something, just in case, is once you start getting to the teleporters in here, just hold forward and trust in the level and it works. Because you can't see what you're doing, but if you just go forward, it puts you on this, and you just go forward, and you get through this, it works. You know, and I got to the top, and I was like, I didn't say anything, because I'm like, it's not that hard. But I realized if you've never seen Nimbus before, you might not know what the teleporters, you know, are gonna do, send you over that big jump. It's just, you know, trust what the level designers did. This part, again, is like, oh, it's so scary, and, or, you know, what you could do, just go over here, ignore the hammer. This part, you kind of want to go, like, once the hammer passes the melon, you can start going, and if you just go over here, it's fine, it can't hit you. You can wait here as long as you want to line it up to just go boop. So again, it's scarier than it looks. It's really not all that difficult. I would frankly call this an... Well, I mean, either call this an easy level or call Woodlands a medium level. All right, Oasis, our final medium difficulty map. One thing that's really nice about this map is that there are a lot of melons. You know, it's not like, say, Nimbus, which, you know, doesn't even have a bonus level, or, you know, Prism, which is just hard. You know, getting the 500 melon achievement on this one, not an issue. Granted, I'm ignoring them all because that's not what we're here for, but at least it's nice to know. Right here, it doesn't matter where you go. I just, you know, for the sake of ease, just go straight. Go straight again. You know, it all takes you down where we need to be. And again, this part, you know, while the rocks are moving up and down, like, you can't go too low or too high, you know, as long as you don't go off the edge, you'll be fine. And, you know, once you reach the end here, like, if you want to go, oh, all the way to the end, get the melon, you can. But, you know, if you get here, you're just like, yeah, okay, I'm done. Look at that, we got the melon anyway. Whatever you find easiest, you know, if you find just cutting out that part the easier way, go for it. If you find getting to the edge, dropping straight down. Whatever helps you beat the level without dying. That's what we're here for. Now this part, well, don't go over the edge right here. You know, it kind of tricks you to be like, keep going, and then you die. Here, go fast and go straight, because that little tunnel, if you hit the side of it, you won't, you know, it'll knock you back down. Actually, in fact, you know, whatever, we got to the end of the level, I'll try and show you. You know, if you hit sort of the edge, it goes boink. And of course, you know, just like Woodlands, I can't get it to not work. It's easy enough to save if it happens to you. It won't kill you right away. Just fall on the platform below, try again. But yeah, that's why you just want to hit it going fast, going straight forward. It's a Mario 64 magic carpet ride going. Get the slider theme. Just give them a wide berth and you will be fine. All right, so Pyramid, level 5 here. The thing to know about Pyramid, which, you know, there's a golden melon on here, and if you've done it before, what you might have noticed is the longer you take to beat Pyramid, the weirder and harder it gets. The rocks just seem to start, you know, kind of freaking out with physics. So just, you know, be careful-ish, but make your way up quickly. You know, and then you fall into it. And that way, you know, it looks like, oh, that's so easy. Just don't be that slow. Like, sure, if you see a rock falling in front of you, stop for it. But don't take your time. You know, you want to be brave boy, gutsy girl, and just get done with it. Because the longer you spend in Pyramid, the worse it's going to get for you. And I hear you can do some goofy stuff if, you know, you get flung up earlier, but we're just going to, you know, do the safe way. If you want to try and get to the end, if you can, the second to the last one, you know, if you have to. We're just going to take our time. We're going to go through. We're going to wait here. And now once that's here, well, we don't want to go too far. We want to wait right here. and let it push you up and over into this part. Again, you can do some of the earlier stuff and like fling up and, you know, end up on top of the tube, but don't worry about it. Just go to the very end, land safely on the platform, and be done. So for these guys, you know, just give them a wide berth, you know, and if you can't, just do your best to save it. So try and line up right here on the center. Let's zoom in. Yeah, we're centered. And just do your best to not get hit. And if you know, you can't help it, well, adjust. And there you go. Now, I know that's like, well, that doesn't seem like very good advice, but the fact is, like, if you can't do a perfect thing, because they are next to each other, they're not likely to fling you off into the void. You're likely just to go up. So just be ready to correct course. All right, this part, not too bad. There's a couple things you want to watch out for. Again, yeah, just let it take you glomp, glomp. Now, if you want to, you know, go on the bridge halfway and go get a melon, sure, but if you want to be easy about it, just, you know, hold your place, and then they come back and you just go. Now, a funny thing that can happen right here on that second platform, I'm not going to show you because I don't want to do it. If you get wedged in between those two raised blocks, you will not have enough, like, you won't have enough way to get speed to get out, and you will be stuck and you will die. So just hit forward. You can go over that. You can go over all of this. You know, just skip it all. Sort of getting sucked up into that pipe is the worst part there. Now, I kind of got it at a weird angle, so I have to do a little bit of adjusting. Thankfully, once you cross over, it gets a little wider. It makes it a little bit easier. But yeah, it was very funny the first time that happened, because I kind of got wedged in there. I'm like, help, guys, help. And of course, my friends just laughed at me because it is funny. Here's the maze. It changes, you know, where the platforms and stuff are. So if you're like, oh, I'm going somewhere and I don't like the top isn't the same. What you want to do, just kind of follow the right wall until you get out right here. I don't know that the insides change or not. Maybe they do, but it's not that complicated. You want to get out to these blocks. Raise yourself up. And now that we are on top of the pyramid, I can't give you a specific way to go because these light colored blocks will change. But obviously, if you come up here, you're like, oh no, there's a block right there. So what you want to do, well, you don't have to be as risky as I am there, is come into the center. Yeah, assuming, you know, this one's here. Otherwise, you could go around the far way. And you just wait. You know, if you have to go through, you know, that side and come up this way, do that. But the point is, you want to get into the center, wait for the block to go, and you go like this. Now, can you go around the outside? Yes, but safety is nafety. I don't think nafty's a word. Yeah, well, it is now. And finally get to this part. So long as, you know, you're not, you know, be the brave boy, brave girl. You see the thing, and you're like, that looks right. Just do it. And it's not tricky, and you're done. You know, it's like, oh, there's so many moving platforms. It's not that hard. Just when it's straight in front of you, go. And this is like, oh, it's twisting, and it, you know, if you need to take some time to line it up, sure. But like there, it's straight in front of us. Let's go. And now we get out, and now we're done. You know, just don't hesitate. Don't second guess yourself. When you see the platform, go for it, and that's what you want. Because now you are the king and queen of all of the medium difficulty maps, and we're gonna go to Eruption. Which is probably what the people, you know, watching this video really want is Eruption memories, Prism, and Midori. So our first of the two hard maps, Eruption, it's not as bad as you might think. Especially if you played it getting the golden melons, because the golden melons on this are terrible, but the level itself isn't that bad, and I'll explain that in a bit. This is actually probably one of the hardest parts of it, right here at the beginning. And it's not exactly smooth sailing after it, but anyway, you don't want to be too far left, you'll hit the lava pillar. Too far right, you'll hit the bumper. So you kind of want to go a little bit to the left, aiming a little bit to the right, kind of like right where that edge of the lava thing is. Just full go, full power. And there you go. You know, you can hold a little bit right, you know, and sometimes it'll just shoot you up. And if it does that, it's fine. Hold over to the right. But yeah, if you do that, that's sort of the technically most demanding part of the entire set of 13. Good job, you did it. Now, the reason why Eruption is hard is, well, for golden melons, it's very hard. It's the worst of the golden melons. But for not dying, the difficulty only comes from the fact that it's very trolly and you don't know what to do if you've never played it. So, for instance, right here, you're like, all right, let's go down the path, and then whoop, it splits and you hit the wall and you die. But if you know that, if you're like, okay, don't, you know, go to the side, and you go back, and now we're gonna shoot forward. I'm like, okay, we're bouncing around. Don't go up to the shortcut. You know, there's a speed boost that flings you into that lava pillar and it's a little finicky to avoid it. See, yeah, the level itself, not that bad. It's just like the not knowing that you're like going forward and then all of a sudden, blah, lava in your face. And like that's sort of where Eruption's like level difficulty comes from, is the trolliness of it, that you just, you know, sort of like I want to be the guy type difficulty, where, you know, the hard stuff is just like, you don't know that you're about to die, and then the level's like, haha, gotcha. Yeah, I mean, look at that. That's a hard map? No, that's fine. As I said, though, the golden melons, they're another story. Like, I was very afraid to get the King of Eruption because I did the golden melons for, here, again, trolly, but if you just go forward, you'll make it. If this is their first time, you're like, where's the platform? Where do I go? But when you figure it out, it's not hard. Yeah, the golden melon, this one is particular, number 4. I'm not gonna try even, but you use that, you fling yourself up, land up there. It's so inconsistent. You know, I talked about the second most inconsistent was the Woodland fans. That's the most inconsistent. And I could go on a diatribe about how terrible it is. But I won't, because we're not doing that. Instead, we'll be like, hooray, Eruption, the level itself is easy, woo! And it's got great music, too. Ba-ba-da-bap-bow, ba-ba-da-bap-bow. Now, this part, again, like, if you don't know what's coming, and you're on the left side, whoop, you die. So it's not, you know, but this map isn't hard, you know, this is, you know, not like you're gonna see with some of the stuff on Memories or, you know, Midori or Prism. It's just that you don't know you shouldn't be on the left, but once you know and you're on the right, it's fine. It's not hard to do. Like, look, it takes you right to the goal. So, yeah, you just play Eruption, you know, watch this video a bunch, whatever, get used to it, and then you'll have dealt with the difficulty. You know, right here, left or right, doesn't matter. Go wherever you want. You know, just hold forward so you make the jumps and you'll be fine. And we loop around and we're safe and we're fine. Hooray for us. All right, we're done from our break. Let's keep going. Keep going. All right, you know, if you're on the top path, it's fine. If you get knocked down here, it's fine. They both lead to the same spot. Right here. And again, like, yeah, you could go and you do the little secret up there where you saw the melon, but why? Why bother? Don't worry about it. So let's take the easy path, but again, as I said, Eruption, kind of an easy path when you know all the trolls. And you're not going for the golden melon, because the golden melon stuff just, not consistent. But again, like, here you go. If you can see ahead, you're stopped, like, that left side looks kind of dangerous. Yes, it does. So you go on the right side. Go around it, and then hook back left. Go around it, hook back left. If you don't know, you just hit the thing, you're like, woo, let's go forward, woo! And then you hit a lava pillar and die. But if you hold, you know, either hold back or know what's coming, not hard to do. Or if you hit, it's like, oh boy, let's go this way, melon, and then you fall off the pit, and you're like, oh, well, that was kind of bad. I mean, now, technically, yes, there's a thing that's like, go this way, but, like, right, from here, you can't see that path. You just see, like, go left, okay, melon, left, and then you fall and die. So once you know that you have to go over it, it's fine. Alright, well, you know, I stopped to look at the thing, didn't have the speed, so we'll do it again. And again, like, level 10 here, you know, another melon where it just, you have to bounce off a fan, and it just doesn't always work. It's very frustrating getting to level 10 and then it just not working. But when you're doing the level, you're just like, okay, hey, look, everything just works. We go up, we bounce, that fan right there, which we're not gonna do. We're gonna bounce off that because it's consistent, unlike the fan. And we go bop. You can see, you just kind of go left and right. It's a little scary looking, but it's just left and right. The lava's not coming for you here. Again, right or left, doesn't matter. Let's go right this time, because we went left last time. As long as you don't fall for the thing of, like, it points forward, so let's take it. If you just go forward, you hit a rock and fall down. If you hold to the side, you clear it. Lava pillar, avoid the troll, go around it, and you're done. Yeah, now here we are, the final level, and it's very easy to do. You're just going forward. You know, sure, avoid the lava on the ground. You don't want to, you know, explode, but you're just basically holding forward and just having a good time going fast. Now here, in fact, you can even slow down a bit if you want. Like, if you want, you can go screaming through the section. You know, hold right, hold left, avoid the lava, and you're done. And just like that, Bob, you are now the king of Eruption. So yeah, it's not that hard if you know that, like, things are just trying to troll you and, like, it's trying to get you to fly into the lava, and if you know to avoid it, it's not going to be too bad. Unlike some of the levels of Memories. Welcome to Memories, the other hard level of our set. It's kind of the opposite of Eruption in every way, you know, where Eruption was bright and in your face. This one's, you know, nice and sleek and cool. You know, where Eruption had that dirty funk music going on. You know, this one's got nice, soft, relaxing ambiance. And Eruption was pretty easy to get a no-death run on, and this one, actually kind of hard. In fact, it was my second to last level that I even got the no-death achievement for. You know, I got one of the very hards before this one, all thanks to level 12, but we'll talk about that when we get to it. Until then, let me help you get to level 12. Guys, I don't know if you heard it, but it does go like beep, 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 turns on, beep, 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 turns off. You know, you'll hear it in your game if you can't hear it on this audio. Repulsor, just go straight. You know, adjust, that time it put me straight ahead. If it sends you a little left or right, just adjust. This part, aim right for the big, thick center white lines. The attractors, you know, will pull you where you need to be. And hooray, we're out. Yeah, this Memories would not be too bad if it wasn't for level 12. I could take a little practice, but otherwise, here, go straight up the center. When you get around, get to this part, go straight up the center over the hole, and then just go not in the center, and you'll be fine. Now, hooray, we did it, no deaths, you know, hurrah for us, pat on the back. Let me show you why. If you try and go to the sides here, they pull you real hard into them, and then you die. You're like, okay, well, you know, that's like there's 4 right clumped together, you know, but what if we, right here is fine, right? There's only a single one. Let's just go straight ahead. And it pulls you over the edge. Now, I was able to save it there because, you know, good job for me, and I was expecting it. But there's a good chance it just flings you off. So just give them the space and the respect they deserve. Don't mess with them. They won't mess with you. This part, I'm not going to say it's easy. Yeah, I mean, the left side is hard. Don't get me wrong. You know, getting the golden melon. We're not doing that, though. We're going on the right side where there's safety walls. And, like, the tip I can give here, go with purpose. Like, you don't have to go super fast, per se. But don't, like, dilly-dally, because that's what happens. If you start, you know, you stop to wait, that's when it starts pushing you, you know, sort of further and further, and you go past where you need to be. Whereas if you're going, you're just like, I know where I'm going. There you go. You make it. And so it's when you stop to be like, oh, should I, you know, oh, wow. Okay, I was trying to, you know, do it some more just to show you a few. You're like, I don't know which way to go. Oh, I got to correct. Oh, no, too far. That's when you lose control and it's going to kill you. Now, I'm not going to say this one's like a freebie. Like, this will take some time. You know, this will take some practice. But, you know, so long as you're on the right side where you do have some safety net in case you need it, just go with intent. I did the exact same thing the first time. That's what I get for being out of practice. Yeah, I do not, you know, promise that I'll even beat all the levels on this. But that's there. Hitting this walls like that, that's why you want to be on this side. Just look at that. We saved it. We did it. Yeah, go with intent. Don't go too slow. Don't Don't try to adjust too much. Just know where you're going and do it, and the repulsor should keep you afloat. Now this part looks very scary and is basically free. Come over here to this corner, right here. We're gonna wait. Sure, let's pick up that while we wait. We're gonna keep waiting. Don't be fooled. Now, once it starts going, we're just gonna go straight up here. And there you have it. You don't have to mess with any of that attractor, maze back there. Free B. It's actually stuff like that that made me even want to do this in the first place. Like, it's like, get the timing right, get the spot right, and you have no problem at all. It's like, I spent time learning that, so you don't have to. All right, break's over. Back to work, you. This level's nice and chill. If you land on the platform, just let it go, fall through the center. And yeah, just go in between the things, go in the center here. The only real piece of advice here is don't try and do this too quickly. Because you might go and you'll get clipped like that. And it might, hit you over your and then bump, you're over the edge. So what I'd suggest is doing the 2 bump method. You come up, bump 1, bump 2, and now go. Because if you wait, only for 1, you might get, hit by that second one as it's coming around. And you don't want to die here, at level 7. You're halfway through. So just do the 2 bumps. It's safer that way. This one, another thing to not do is don't think you can skip the first part. You're like, oh, there's the level. Whee! There's a death wall. I know, it's sad. It's sad but true. There it is. So we have to do that thing. Luckily, this part isn't actually that hard. It's just, it saves time, but going around here, just don't go too fast. And, the attractors will sort of keep you where you need to be. Now, interestingly, you couldn't skip up above, but you can go right here just fine. And finally, again, go with purpose. Go fast, let it take you, keep going, hold forward, let it loop you. Well, all right, because that's what happens if you don't. And we do not have time, so let me go over the edge. Yeah, if you get, off to the side, right there, it kills you. If you don't go fast enough, you'll get trapped on the uplift, and between the uplift and the booster, you won't have enough momentum. You can never get up. You're stuck. You die. So when you get to that part, you want to go fast and let it take you. There we go. And that's what it looks like with no death. When you're not intentionally saying, hey, don't do this. Whee! This part, yeah, I've tried to skip the button press. I've never been able to do it. If you know a way to, skip it, hey, let me know, because that'd be fun. But I'm afraid, what button press? What are you talking about? So there's an invisible wall over that way where we need to go. And the only way to get around it is by pressing that button. And I've tried to make it so you don't have to, but if there's a way, I don't know it. So come this way, and you're like, what, invisible blocks? Yeah, there's invisible blocks because why not? They're still there, though. Don't worry. Get back on. Now, here's where the invisible wall is. It's all the way around this thing. I have tried, believe me. Again, this part, don't worry. Don't worry about the repulsor in the corner. Just go around the thing. Just drop. Just cut out the middleman. There's another corner cut that's just makes things a little easier for you. Level 10, again, aim for the big white part where the panels align, and you'll get pulled from the left, you'll get pulled from the right, but it works. This part, again, just go straight forward, let it take you up, because if you get caught, right, I can't see me, sort of essentially in the middle of that up ramp, you will not have enough inertia to go forward. Just okay, let's say I was right here. I'm like, oh, I want to drop down, but I can't because they're pulling me too hard. Well, right here, at least you can back up, get some speed, and drop. If you're on the middle of that ramp, you cannot go anywhere. You can't go up, you can't go down. And if you try to go left or right to reset, it'll fling you around to the top and kill you. A level 11, don't go right away. Like, yes, this time we could have gone, but you don't know what your thing is going to be set at. It will sometimes look like it's down and then rise immediately. You do not want to die to something stupid like that. So wait for it to come down, then go. Now we're going to do another little skip, just because it's more consistent. Wait for it to go down, land on the elevator. The reason, it's not that it's hard to do this, but the beam and the elevator just don't always align, and you don't want to be stuck on the beam when it's like, boop, 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 I'm gonna disappear now, and you're like, wait, but the elevator's not quite down yet. So that's why you just skip it. It's more consistent. Now, I want to apologize in advance. Level 12, the next level, I do not even promise that I'm gonna beat the thing, let alone be able to show you all the stuff I want to. It's a very hard level. It's the entire reason why this took me so long to do. It involves some luck. And, like, I apologize, because you're going to die, and you're going to get sent back, and you're going to be like, I have to do all my level 11, like, first 11 levels again? Yes. It happens, I'm sorry, but it's just the way this level is. It sucks, I know. I've been there multiple times, believe me. Okay. Start out by going here. What we want to do, ignore the third repulsor. We're going to try and get these two when they line up from this side, when they're, like, the big, wide apart as they come in. Take them over. If you can, land over here. You know, you can use this as sort of a landing spot so that you're not pulled into the repulsor. Here with the little hyper bumpers, what we're going to do is chase the first bumper around. Like that. The problem is this guy. Because if you don't do this in one movement, like chasing the bumper going around, you basically don't make it around. You can, like that. I'm not going to do it. I want to show you some more messing up what might happen. So it is possible to, to hit the very edge of the goalpost and stay on it. And, if that's what you want to do, if that's what you want to try, go for it. I'm going to try and show you what happens if you do it in one fell swoop, because that I found to be more consistent. But whatever works for you. Bounce on those guys. Try and get over to the right. If you don't, that wasn't intentional. I wasn't like, that wasn't me showing like, here's what happens if you go straight. No, that just kills you. Again, there we go. Get over here. You'll be safe from the repulsor. Line up over here. Chase the first bumper around and get through in one motion. Because if you touch that back bumper, I know I made it like, oh, that wasn't that bad. No, let me tell you, it took me so many tries to beat that with no death. If you touch that back bumper, you will die. You will not be able to recover, I promise. And so I just, again, want to say, like, it's going to happen. I beat very hard before this because of that level. And oh, you made it look so easy type of thing, but I got lucky. Like, I mean, yes, okay, I'm amazing. Hooray, good for me, but I got lucky. The good news is once you get past it, 13 right here is free. Just, press up against this. It's kind of a not centered. Just go in the center. These guys are just here to congratulate you. They're not a threat. And then you hit this and you're done. So that is the good news. If you've gotten stuck on 12, when you finally do get 12, you don't have to do anything hard after. You are done. Huh, that was my 10th time beating it. Good for me. Now let's go to very hard. And frankly, our first one, Midori? I did Midori before I did Memories, so, don't be too scared. Midori, our first very hard level. Frankly, I like Midori. Like, yes, it's hard. I'm not, sugarcoating. Like, yeah, it'll take some skill. But the thing is, all right, here, this part, line up on the big black lines, go straight through the middle, you're fine. The thing about Midori is it's the get good type of difficulty, which is, it's not like janky stuff. You're not dealing with weird bumpers or like attractors and repulsors and things not working and the physics being odd. It's just, what you need to do for the most part, and you just have to do it. In fact, I'd say one of the jankiest parts where you just have to hope and get lucky is right here, right? This part, right at the first level. So if it doesn't work, just restart. That time it worked in my favor. Yeah, if it kills you, just restart. You're only at level 1. You haven't lost a lot. Yeah, for the most part, it's just the game asks you, here, do thing A, B, and C, and then you do A, B, and C, and you're done. And if you mess up on, thing B, it's like, well, that was my fault. I knew what I had to do. I just didn't do it. So hooray for that. Also, unrelated to that, but if you know how to get past these, the attractors, if there's a way to skip all this stuff, I've never figured it out. I've tried, but anyway, this part, wait on the side. As soon as it starts coming up, take it and use the, use what it's giving you. Like, if you're on top of it all the way over, land right there. If it starts flinging you like it did me, let it. Now this part, you can go up to like 3 gaps at a time, but we'll be safe. Let's do 2. We'll go up another 1, then we'll, go that one. Whatever makes you comfortable, whatever, feels safe. Again, like here, you can go right or left. For me, I just do better on the left side on this part for whatever reason. If you do better on the right, I got my achievement. I don't need it. I'm not going to judge you for taking the different path. Do what you need to. Here, just like Event Horizon, I told you, you're going to have to get real used to going in circles. Here's a good example of this. Like, it's not that bad. Like, once you know how to do the circle stuff, it tells you, like, cross right here on these squares. It's not too bad. But again, if you're not, comfortable with it, it's not easy. If someone's never played Monkey Ball or, Ball Race before, yeah, that could be difficult. But once you practice and get good at it, it's fine. You're like, I see what I have to do, so I'm gonna do it. And then you do it and you feel good. We're gonna go forward. Okay, we can do that. Just a reminder, if you've never played Midori, if you've forgotten, you gotta go down here. You can't skip it. Those attractors will kill you. And look at that! More circles. You never get away from the circles. Yes, if we're going for speed, you're going for a personal best, you can, go up the ramp and, skip over. But we're not doing that. We're being safe. We're just getting an achievement for not dying, so we're just gonna not die. And otherwise, it's, kind of relaxing compared to some of the stuff in Memories, right? You're just like, just some nice, like Bob Ross, some little happy circles with some little happy circle friends. This level's kind of funny. I will try and show you the normal way first, and then show you some of the funny stuff you can do. Anyways, the normal way. Follow the one clock hand, let the others pass by. Follow the clock hand, let the others pass by. Yes, you can bounce on. There's a golden melon, in fact, on top, so you do have to get up there for that. But it's, for no death, it's not worth it. This part, hold forward, go straight. Be brave. This part, I know what you want to do. You want to go zooming ahead and like get to the end, screeching in a ball of fire, and I know it sounds fun, but no. You're gonna go up here and you're gonna get to the ramp and slow down and stop and be boring because we're trying not to die, and you just, position yourself along these things. And the problem with it is if you do go screeching ahead, you generally land around the middle platform, which A, you don't see where it is. B, it can, bounce you in weird ways. Okay, we did it. No deaths. Hooray for us. Some of the fun physics things you can do here, and if you want to try, go for it, but I'd recommend the safe thing for the purposes of the achievement. If you get pincer attacked by these 2 clock hands, it can launch you in interesting ways. Like, that's a good way to get the golden melon, by the by. Now, that time, it wasn't that too intense. It launched me pretty gently. Like, sometimes it can rocket you up. It's generally just sort of useful. Like, you're not going to get all the way over there, but you can, like, skip the clock if you want. Again, I wouldn't recommend it. For the no death, I'd recommend what I already showed you, the safe and boring way. But, blue! I'm getting some boring ones here. Try it from over here. Right about there, okay. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Meow. All right, I can't get it to really launch me. Like, you can get some height on that. But, would I recommend doing it for this? No. Here, let me show you this is what happens if you go screaming ahead. Keep going. Woo! Bounce. See, I made it that time. I'm not saying you can't do it, but like, we got lucky that we landed right on there and that platform was in position, because if this one wasn't, we would have fallen in the pit and died. That's why I recommend to slow down on the ramp, go safely while you're getting the achievement. If you're wondering, like, wait, why did you start this and you already have a life missing? Don't worry about it, sweetheart. Anyways, what I'm saying is, don't try to fight these and don't try to use them to boost yourself. You can, but it's not worth it for the achievement. What we're going to do is follow this. You know, we're going to let that guy go in front of us. You know, let it go by. Let that one go by. It's a nice safe zone over here so we can wait. You know, there it goes. And we're going to go through there and let it, you know, let it pass by, and now we've made it. You know, with no deaths, and you're like, but you already died. Shh, don't worry about it. I was trying to show something, and, you know, I have time, I'll try and show you now. It's very tempting to try and let it go, like, boost you like that. The problem is, as much as it might help, it can also hurt, because let me see if I can get it. Ugh. Sometimes when you're going like that one is like, wow, that sure helped. That got you there like in an instant. Why wouldn't I want to do that? Because sometimes when you go under these things, they will just smack you straight down instead of, you know, letting you go, and they're just not worth it when you're going for the achievement. Again, let me see if I want to hit you at the right angle to show off. Oh, okay, that time he just pushed me into the spikes. Robot in the sky. Now I can't even get it. I'm trying to show you a specific way to die, but I keep dying. You know, and again, like, if you want to go fast, sure, you don't have to play safe, but if you don't play safe, things like that happen. So, you know, you saw me get to the end normally, you saw me using the boost. Don't do the boost. It's just not worth it. Ah, here we go. More circles, everyone's favorite. It is kind of funny that I'm like, make sure to be nice and safe considering the song right now. Oh, right here. Stay on the outside if you can. But yeah, what's the point of being safe and sound and down to earth, says the song. But that's how we win. The reason you want to... Well, I'll show you the rest of the level, and then I'll show you why you want to stay on the outside if you can. These... They'll stop for a little bit, and then they'll spin, not stop, and then keep going and then stop again. So you want to go when it's, you know, every other time, and you can just make it across in one. And then, you know, another circle, and we're home free. We did it. Hooray, no deaths. Let's go look at some more stuff in the level. The reason why I say you want to stay on the outside, well, A, is because you need to get, you know, to that platform anyways. And B, it's not that much safer. You go in here, but then, like, you have to move out, and then you have to go back in, and then, like, you got to get this tight fit right there, which doesn't always work. So as, you know, scary... we're going to run out of time. Let me do that. As scary as it can be to be on the outside of the platform, because it's, you know, much faster, it is the safer option. You know, if you're comfortable with your circles, which, like, look at Midori, you better be. Circle. Again, we can stay on the second part at first, but after that first platform, you know, appears, you have to be on the outer edge because there's one right there. And there, it deposits us right there. Again, wait. I mean, we saw it, but you know, it's okay. It stopped, so we know the next one is not going to stop. It's going to keep going, and now it's going to stop this time. We can make it in one. Ah, probably my favorite level of them all. I don't know why, I'm just like it. I mean, one of the things that's super nice about this, unlike like everywhere else in the game, is all like the moving obstacles, it tells you exactly where they are. You can see it. If you're in the zone, it'll hit you. If you're not in the zone, it won't. That part, you can fit there. It's a little dangerous, so, you know, don't stop unless you have to, but you can, if you want to. If you have to. You know, better to just, you know, do like something like that. Just go one fell swoop. And not even need it. You know, this part, you know, you can make the trip around if you want to get the melons, because you're, you know, working on the 500 melons, but it's pretty close. These move faster than you might think. And bop. Don't go too fast, you'll bounce over the edge, but, you know, if you pull back a bit, you're fine. Again, left or right, doesn't matter. Pick whatever you like. Once the bridge is, you know, basically flat, go across it. It looks cool. It might look a little scary, but it isn't. And here it picks you up. So let it go. Go forward. And then finally, loop around. Boop, you're done. With that level again, you know, there's one more left, but surprise, surprise, it's just circles. There's nothing crazy about it. You know, if you got to here, you're basically done because you know how to do circles. And if you know how to do circles, you know how to do this level. As a tautology, like to get to this level, you have to be good at circles. To be, you know, good at circles, you have to get to this. No, that doesn't actually work. And again, don't, there's a golden melon that way if you need them, but don't risk it like you want to be like, oh, I want to be finished, I want to go, rrr. Just play it safe. You're on the last level of a very hard. Congratulations. You're king and queen of Midori. We've got one left. It's a doozy, but it's fun. So time for Prism. Welcome to Prism, the very last level between you and getting all your king of achievements. Yes, the first thing to point out is the whole sort of gimmick is these rhythm blocks. I can't help you with those, you know, like, if you go too fast, you're gonna go past them. If you go too slow, they're gonna leave you. You know, it is what it is. But I'm here to help, you know, with the rest of the aiming and timing for everything else. You know, the rhythm, that's on you. Everything else will be on me. So let's keep on going. We're gonna make our way up here. The steps up here, they look like they might be hard. They're not. They're easy. They'll just work. I don't even know how. I guess they're just positioned in such a great way that they teleport you up just a little bit at a time, but they work. Now this part, you can go just like from here, full send it, bounce off the thing and make it. But to be safe, I'd wait right here and then go down and up. Because if you do full send it, sometimes you won't, you know, if you bounce a little too early, you'll hit the corner and bounce backwards. So just be safe. You know, here you can, you know, go in the center, you can go on the side, doesn't matter. But whatever works for you. Go to level 2. Level 2, if you don't know the trick to it, is hair-pullingly frustrating. If you do know the trick to it, it is super easy. You'll be like, oh man, I wish they were all this easy. Say, yeah, we're wiggling along here. Wiggle waggle. Now, we're going this way. And you're like, okay, yeah, we turned on some stuff. We're going do. Ignore the bottom path. That's the hard path. We're not going to talk about that one. We're going to do this path. You're like, well, this doesn't look that much easier. If you position yourself right in the middle so that your head's, you know, kind of right in between the gap between the big and the small platforms, it will just work. You don't even need timing. Just go whenever. Because it will auto-correct you to where you need to go. Okay, going too fast, let's slow down a bit. Same thing here, you can actually see where the thing is right on that black line. Unlike the rest of the game where it's like, yeah, see, like I was floating in nothing and the game's like, okay, here you go. Unlike other things that, you know, always hit you off into the abyss, that one just works. It will just fix it for you if you are properly centered. Now, thing, you know, to talk about with these levels is, sure, you can, you know, if you want to do this part, oh man, this is sure easy. Yeah, if you got good sense of rhythm, go ahead, go up that platform. But if you're like, oh, I've got a bad internal timer, I don't like these blocks, then, you know, just because, you know, I'm taking one, you know, you can take this path over here. You know, sure, it's a little tight of a curve, it's a little narrow, but, you know, whatever is more comfortable for you. I definitely say the blocks are easier if you have the sense of timing. You know, but you end up in the same place either way. And again, here, if you know, you want the melons for the 500 melon achievement, go ahead, take the tighter, you know, inside curve, but you might as well just stay on the outside if you got it. And right here, make sure you have a little bit of speed, because there's a little gap. And hooray! Moving on to level 3. 4, whatever we're on. Yeah, 4. This one, it's not always consistent, but I'll show you the best way I've found. So, what you want to do, like, it looks like you're supposed to be, okay, bounce, 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 bounce. Sticking to one side works better, so we're going to try and hit that as the red block comes on. So it's off, and start going, bomb, on. And we just ride it, and it works. You can do the bouncing left and right thing, but it tends to get weird. Now I'm going to stop. Obviously, you can keep going to the bounce pad right there, but if, for instance, you know, you're doing something and you're just like, just barely made it here, you're like, you just inch over the edge, you're fine. You have enough speed to go like that. I just wanted to show you. And right here, actually, it's kind of a tricky entry because it's at a weird angle. Just be aware of it. It's not flat. But, you know, I mean, it's not hard, but just, you know, it's something to be aware of. This part, unlike all the walls earlier in the game, where like, it just takes you. If you hold forward, it does not just take you. It will fling you over the edge and you die. So, you do have to, you know, like, yeah, you have to keep some momentum, but, you know, holding left, holding forward, holding left. And now we're back to bounce pads, kind of like Event Horizon, only these ones are not as friendly. Like, yeah, they'll hit you in the right direction, but as you see, we got to adjust. It's not too bad, but yes, you do have to adjust on your way over. These part, it looks very scary and tricky. It's easy. Press up into the wall, and then just start going over. And you just climb. And if you mess up, it catches you. Like, I've never died on this area. Like, I don't even know if you can fit in between the steps if you go too fast. Like, maybe it's technically possible, but, like, I've certainly not had it happen to me. Like, you're more likely to die up here, just messing up your timing. Otherwise, it's just straight, it's up a ramp, you know, hold forward. There you go. You did it. This level. So I know that there's ways to do this faster because, like, I've done it as fast as I possibly can, and I'm still like rank 20,000 or something. Clearly, if you were doing this with other people, they could press the buttons for you. That would help. And as you'll see, once I hit the first button, there might be a way to skip the second one and do sort of a jump up a ramp. But I've never gotten it to work. I've tried. I promise I have tried, but I have to show you the boring official way. So we hit the button, these are going back on. You can see where you might be able to hit the red, hit the blue, and then get up there. But I've never been able to do it, so I'm not going to show it to you. Because that would make for a bad guide. Like, here's this thing I've never been able to do. And as I said, like, it's not hard this way, it's just the timer is a little tight. Alright, we're going to wait here, position ourselves. When you see the blue one, start going. I waited a little bit because I was, you know, showing you. Right here, position so that you're bouncing up in the center. Because you need 3 good bounces to get high enough. And if you hit the inside, it will kind of knock you around. It won't kill you, but then, you know, you lose your momentum. And as you can see, you know, our timer isn't the most, you know, we're fine. We're not at the last second, but yeah, if you can get up, you know, in one set of 3 bounces, obviously it's better for you. Obviously, we're going to take the easy path instead of the hard path. Like, there's no reason to try and get the gold melons on your no death run. In fact, I'm not even sure if you can. Like, I don't know that you can get the 3rd gold melon on here and survive. So, definitely not worth it. Just take the easy path. It's fine. We're going to wait. We've got time. There's a little wall thing. You got to, you know, make sure you get your camera right. Now, this elevator part. When you're on the elevator, you're safe. If you try and go off the elevator before the platforms appeared, you are not safe. So, you know, if you need to adjust, you know, catch your breath, here's the place to do it. Because if you miss that step, you fall and you die. And you're like, well, I'm halfway through. I don't want to do that. Like, well, too bad. You just died. And it's all your fault because you are too impatient. Yeah, if you need a breather, the elevator is safe. It'll catch you in its safety arms. This part, left or right, doesn't matter, whatever you're more comfortable with. I prefer the right side, just it's easier to recover if you mess up, but that's how it should go, and it should work either side. But if you get caught halfway up, as you can see, those platforms are a little bit, you know, because they're not in sync, it's a little harder to get up them. Whereas the platforms I just went up, if you mess up, like, yeah, it's very slow, but you can do it. Adjust your camera a bit because, you know, you don't want to get knocked off the edge now. And you do need some speed. Like, it's not directly below you. You got to get a little juice to make that. One of the things that's nice about here is if you fall down, you will actually land on the previous platform. Like, yeah, your timer will be a bit tight, but it doesn't instantly kill you, which is nice. Again, the advice for here is just take it slow, be patient. You have plenty of time. You know, let the first one go, let the second one go. Come over here, you know, it doesn't matter what side first. You know, let this top bit get nice and flat so that you can start running and just make it across. And again, you know, let the first gap go. Let the second gap go. No need to try and beat them, you've got the time. Now that said, you know, do whatever makes you feel comfortable. So like, if doing 2 of these at once, you know, is easier for you, do it, you know, do that. But on the other hand, if you're like, that's too scary, then just do 1 at a time. You know, I got my achievement my way, you get it your way. Whatever is comfortable for you. You know, we're here at level 10. So you don't want to redo it, you want to do what's nice for you. The only other tip, really, I have for this thing is more of a just don't worry. When you go down here, and you're like, forward, forward, bounce! It feels like you are not going to make it in there and it's not going to catch you. It will. I've only ever once in my entire playing of this, of Prism, ever had it not work. It just does work, even though it will not feel like it. It feels like it's going to reject you. It won't. As long as you don't go straight at it. If you ignore it, then sure it won't, but... Okay, level 11. We're going forward. We're going back. We're going forward. You know, whichever side, you know, I'm more comfortable going left, so I'm going to do it because that's what I've practiced the most. You know, up or down. I'm going to go up because that's what I feel comfortable doing with. It doesn't matter. The only thing is, you know, don't hit the bumper. It's not, you know, hidden, but it kind of blends in. Well, I guess the only thing besides this other thing is, I know it's tempting to be like, let's go! Wow! And yes, you can make it, but it can also knock you sideways if you hit it at a weird angle, so just go around and be safe. You're at level 11, you don't need to be tricky. This part, I apologize because it does not always work. I'll show you what I have found to be the smoothest. So you're positioned right here in the middle. Yep, that's the middle. And we're just gonna go right along the center and hope that it works. Okay, that's how, so we got 1 bounce and it was a straight ahead. Sometimes when you're going, you'll hit a bounce and it sends you sideways. And it sucks when it happens. You know, it's just like memories, level 12. Again, man, it's, I don't know what it is about level 12s, but sometimes they just don't work the way you want them to. You know, it is what it is. You know, the way I just showed you is the smoothest way I know how to do it. If you have a better way, go for it. It'll let me know it, but right up the middle and just hope you don't get a bad bounce is the best way. That said, like, you know, 90% of the time, you're not gonna get a bad bounce. Like, if you bounce at all, it'll be forward. It's just something to be aware of that, you know, if you're like, I went up this middle path and it sent me to the side. You know, don't say I didn't warn you. Okay, again, avoid those bumpers. Left or right. Left gives you a bigger melon, but otherwise it doesn't matter. This one, don't go too far forward or you're gonna, oh, can't show you. You're gonna hit your head, so like let it bounce you up straight. Now, that's what you're trying to get at. So you can like just go a little bit, boop. Because if you just try going straight forward, you'll hit the underside of this and get knocked down. And you don't want that. Otherwise, we're just going fast. We're going over a ramp. It's cool. We're done with that. And we're almost done with Prism. Level 14. Not much to say about it. It's pretty easy, but, you know, sort of the 2 notes on this. 1, don't hit this bumper. This bumper will kill you. Like, it's a forceful bumper that will send you woof off to the edge, and you'll be very sad that you died on 14. The other thing to know about this level is right here. Obviously, you're doing a little bit of bouncing back and forth, but what you want to do is right, left, right, done. We're going to skip the final one, so we're going to go bounce, bounce, bounce right here. It's just safer that way. Again, that wall, it just works. It'll take you to this nice, easy breezy curve. and we're basically done because 15 is free if you know the secret. It's like level 2. If you know what you're doing, it's very easy. So the first part, we have to bounce 3 times. 1, and 2, and 3. Because what we're going to do is turn on these blocks. Now, after the 3rd time, once you start going up, hold forward. And we are going to skip that entire thing. Yep, all that, like, moving up with the fast pace. Nah, we're going to skip it all. Now, you did still have to hit the button, though, to turn these blocks on. You can't just skip the button entirely. But the other thing to know, so that's the first half of knowing it. You can skip the first problem. Normally, I'm like, don't go too fast on these. This one, you want to be into rhythm, but once you hit those squares, sort of like skinny rectangles now, and then they become squares. When you hit the squares, you go full speed right now. Because these ones get really long, and if you're not going full speed, you will not make it. If you're going full speed, it just works fine. So those are the 2 things with level 15. Hit the button, skip the stuff, and then once you hit the squares, full speed ahead, and you got it. And now you have every, king of whatever. Just like me. So just like that, you've finished your achievements. You've got all the king stuff. Here we are. King of Eruption, Event Horizon, GLXY, Heavenscape, Khromidro, Memories, Midori, Nimbus, Oasis, Paradise, Prism, Summit, and Woodlands. And like that, you don't need a guide anymore, because the only things left, you have to, beat each level 30 times, which, it is what it is. Thanks for joining me. I hope you found this either useful or at least had fun, grooving to some Monkey Ball music or legally distinct Monkey Ball. Let me be specific. Until then, join me next time for my actual variety game, but enjoy your Thanksgiving weekend, or, if you don't don't celebrate Thanksgiving, your just end of November weekend. And until then, I've got some more ball race to play.